It's your home for everything movies, the latest releases, reviews, what's hot at the box office, and all things Hollywood. Thanks to the Forum 6 Tamworth and Wagga Wagga and the Odeon 5 Orange. It's Talking Flicks with JT and Grant Lee.
Yes, it is, and it's a Monday, Mr. Lee. What doing? You and I are working on a Monday. What? This is crazy. I don't get it.
This is not right. I don't feel it's either Wednesday or Friday. I get to have lunch with you 3 times now.
It's going to be
in
a good
one
week. Yeah, not that you do much for me, but anyway.
No.
You usually have a long weekend, so I'm making you work today. So that's good. I hope you didn't have work cancelled or something, because I'm going to put you through your paces today.
I did actually have to work Friday because I knew I was having today off, so it was okay. Because I like my Fridays off, so it is something.
Yeah, don't I ever. And Mr. Lee, we have cooled the temperature down in the studio today because I had to wear pants because we do have a guest. It got a bit hot on Friday,
yes.
So yes. And why are we here, Mr. Lee? Why are we here? Because it's our favourite time of year, isn't it?
Oh, it certainly is. I love this time of year. It is the Travelling Film Festival. And I have to say, this year, and I know I say this every year, but this year I think we've got the best lineup in all 3 sites. On the weekend just gone, I know Orange had a fantastic weekend with their Travelling Film Festival. And then we've got Wagga and Tamworth coming up at the end of this month. So I know our special guest is going to be able to tell us a little bit more about each of these movies.
Yeah, I love the Travelling Film Festival. 3-day pass for me, got to be. I love being there all weekend with you,
yes,
of course.
Yeah.
So, by the time we reach Sunday, things are getting a bit thin. But, it's going to be a great weekend. And joining us right now from the Travelling Film Festival, the lovely Bea. Hello, welcome to Talkin Flicks.
Hello, thanks so much for having me on the show.
Great to have you here. And because you do this all the time, this Travelling Film Festival, it moves around the country. How's it been going? How have you found 2025?
It's been really great. We've just kicked off our New South Wales tour, so we're 2 weekends in. We went to Coffs and Newcastle in our first weekend, which was a really big weekend for us. It's our first time in Coffs, and it was a great way to kick off the festival. And then, as you said, Grant, we went to Orange over the weekend, and it was a really great weekend in Orange. It's always lovely, always a bit chilly, but always lovely to be in Orange. So we're excited to get to Tamworth and Wagga,
which is great news. And I'm a bit sad that you're not coming to us in Tamworth because you did go to Orange. But you know what? We've got the lovely Eden, who was here last year. He's coming to us. And who was it going to Wagga?
And we've got Karina, who was our programmer last year, who will be living it up in the Riverina in Wagga.
Wow.
She'll love it down there. It'll be probably cold down there as much as what it is here too. So yeah, I don't think anyone's going to get that warm weather at all. So yeah, and that's why it's a great time, because at least you can be inside over the whole weekend watching 9 movies and short films. It's the perfect place to be.
Absolutely, taking the words out of my mouth. What better to do than just sit in the heating all weekend? Perfect.
And what is your? You've got 3 days of movies there, Bea. What do you reckon's your favourite out of the 3? Do you like the opening? Because on the opening night, usually, it's a nice way to bring the weekend in, isn't it?
Absolutely. I mean, opening night's always a highlight. We always try and bring that real festival experience and make it feel like a gala. We're opening off our big weekend of movies, so that's always great. We get a great crowd, and you get to be really excited about what's to come. I think actually, though, my absolute favourite thing is our morning sessions. I love a 10:30 movie. You've got a coffee, popcorn for breakfast, you're kicking off your day well, morning in the movies. That's my absolute dream.
I must agree. I do like popcorn for breakfast.
And a choc top, Mr. Lee, and a choc top.
Oh, yeah, okay. I will.
And some Maltesers.
I'll admit it. Yes, I will admit I have a choc top too. Yeah.
Well, Bea, we've got some great movies on show this year. And again, as I said before, I love going along to the Travelling Film Festival. There's so many great movies to see. Just before we get into some of these movies, just for some of those that maybe haven't experienced the Travelling Film Festival before, can you just go into a bit about what it is and what people can expect over the 3 days?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the Travelling Film Festival was started back in 1974 by David Stratton, where he jumped in a van and he drove around Australia looking for a home for these little mini festivals. And the whole idea is to bring international award winners and favourites from the Sydney Film Festival to areas where the audience may not get access to those sort of films, those sort of international and art house films. And the whole ethos is to make sure that no matter where you live, you still have access to these perhaps more niche films that regional cinemas just can't take the risk on. You know, that makes sense that you can't take a risk on, you know, some North Macedonian film about sheep farming. We understand. And so we try and just fill that gap wherever we can.
And that's what we love, having the Travelling Film Festival come to us, because you're exactly right. We necessarily may not get that movie because we know we won't get, you know, if we've got to play it for a week or something. But I think having it over a festival weekend, it does give it more of a buzz and everything. So thank you from us cinemas. Thank you to the Travelling Film Festival for doing that for us.
Oh, well, thanks for having us.
Well, let's start running through some of these movies now. Opening night, DJ Ahmet. I'm saying that right? Yes?
DJ Ahmet, yes, that's right. This is our opening night film. I'm really excited to kick off all of our New South Wales festivals with this as our opening night. This is a debut film from a North Macedonian filmmaker called Georgi M. Unkovsky. He came to the festival, Sydney Film Festival, that is, in June, and he was so much fun. He had so much fun, maybe too much fun. We were sort of convinced that he was going to move to Sydney. He sort of had to extend his stay because he just didn't want to leave. He reconnected with some long lost cousins. It was amazing. It was a really wonderful experience. But he's made this really gorgeous coming of age film. I don't think the worlds of rural sheep farming and underground raves often collide, but they do in this film to a really delightful effect. It follows Ahmet as he discovers music and first love, and really it's about the liberating power of art, and it just leaves you smiling. It really creeps up on you, and so it's a really fantastic way to kick off the fest.
Which is a great thing. I must say, I watched the trailer of it, and when he was playing the music to his love from the tractor, I went, that's so nice. A good thing.
And you got to love with these kinds of movies too. Like you get the English subtitles, which is great. So, and I'm a subtitle person. I'm not too sure about you guys. I've always, even for English films, I love just kind of see what's going on. So, and that helps you understand the movie a bit better, I would imagine. You know, because if you don't understand Turkish or Macedonian, it would certainly help.
Yeah, absolutely. And it also means that you get to experience totally different worlds. I mean, I'd never seen a film from North Macedonia before seeing DJ Ahmet, and I'd never seen that landscape. It's a really interesting landscape. And, just it means that these films become accessible. And after a while with a subtitled film, you forget that you're reading because you're just immersed in the story.
Yeah. And as you said, if you're reading it, you are immersed because you're reading, watching, and I actually think you feel more part of it, as you said, because you are so involved in it and you're not looking away from the screen at all. You're actually concentrating that whole time on the screen, which is good.
For sure. Yeah.
And the film that is in English, with a bit of a Scottish twist, is The Golden Spurtle. This will be your favourite, I reckon, for the weekend, Miss Lee. It just sounds like a Grant Lee movie. The Golden Spurtle. Don't you reckon, Mr. Lee? You'll be all over this.
Let me tell you, I think it is because I love porridge.
This movie's for you. Movie's for you. Look, this film is so cute. This is from a Sydney director, so it's an Australian doco. It's directed by Constantine Costi, who is sort of known as a theatre director, and he's turned his skills to the big screen, and he's made this just charming documentary about the Golden Spurtle, which is the World Porridge Championships. This happens in a tiny town in the Scottish Highlands called Carbridge every year. And this doco follows 1 year sort of life cycle of the World Porridge competition. It's got this beautiful cast of, you could say, eccentric characters that put on this World Porridge Championship, namely the porridge chieftain Charlie, and it's his final year, so it sort of tracks his final year as the porridge chieftain. It features a really great cast of characters who come and compete. The leading world porridge experts, including, a reigning champion, a 7-time finalist looking for the win, a porridge celebrity sort of coming out of retirement for one more go at the Spurtle, and a taco chef from Sydney. So Toby Wilson is the Australian contingent in the Golden Spurtle, and it's just a delight for absolutely everyone. I cannot recommend this movie enough. It just leaves me smiling and craving a good bowl of oats.
Oh my God, it just blows my mind. I don't think I've ever seen a movie about porridge before, so
No.
it's got me hooked. I'm intrigued now.
Yeah. And I got to say, this is my advice to you, invest in Spurtles now, because the porridge renaissance is upon us, and now's the time to get in on the ground floor.
Too funny. I actually didn't know there was one either. So I don't think my porridge making skills would make it. I don't think people would really like that.
But do you use a Spurtle?
No, I don't.
Well, this
yeah,
is
see, that's the reason why. Yeah. Not good at all.
Miss Lee's porridge is very sloppy.
Yeah.
It's just like, you can just hear it move his little spoon around. No good. The Ballad of Wallace Island. Now, Wales is where we're going to for this one, right? So, and I love Wales. I just love the backdrop. Like, it's just an amazing place.
This is really gorgeous. This is our Saturday night headliner. This is just a crowd pleaser. Everyone's going to enjoy this film. It's directed by James Griffiths and was written by two of the stars, Tim Keyes and Tom Basden. Tim Keyes, people might be familiar with from a lot of sort of British TV. He's a comedian and poet. And the film is actually based on a short film that he made alongside Tom Basden, and now they've sort of beefed it up to be a feature. It also stars the always wonderful Carey Mulligan, who people would know from The Great Gatsby and Drive, and follows Carey Mulligan and Tom Basden as they are unwittingly invited to a surprise reunion on a private island by a bit of an eccentric millionaire played by Tim Keyes. And he's this really wonderful, bumbling but well-intentioned millionaire who just loves the music of Maguire Mortimer, who is this folk duo. It's irresistibly charming. It's full of great laughs. It balances humor, heart, and music, all wrapped up in this really great story about reconnection and second chances. And it's backed by a really wonderful soundtrack of folk tunes that were written by Tom Basden and then performed by Tom and Carey Mulligan. So there's so much to love about this film.
Which I have to say, when I watched the trailer of it, I thought, wow, this is such an interesting concept. When, they're saying, how many am I playing for? And, the eccentric millionaire says, I said less than 100. He goes, is it just you? He goes, yes, just me.
Well, he didn't lie.
He did. It was correct, yes. But a bit awkward in the room when he wanted to get change and he wanted him to close the door and he stayed in the room.
That's what I mean. He's hilarious.
Yes.
It's a really, really lovely film.
It is. It looks so much fun. And I think that sort of, on a Saturday night, would make you feel really good going home and going, I've had a great day.
Exactly. Leaves you with a smile on your face.
Yeah. And that's what we want. Yes, so true. Now, tell us a little bit more about race walkers. This is a very interesting concept because I watched the trailer of that and I went, okay.
The closest comparison that I can pull would be Happy Gilmore, but with way more hip swivel and less alligators. And that's Race Walkers. It's really gorgeous. This film's from Canada. It's directed by real-life best friends, Phil Moniz and Kevin Clayton, who also star in the film. This was part of our Screenability program in Sydney Film Festival, which is all about celebrating film creatives living with disability. And it revolves around Will, who's played by Phil Moniz, who is of short stature. And because of this, it means that his dreams of race walking are dashed. And so he channels all of his passion into coaching. Then enter Matt, played by Kevin Clayton, who is a washed-up baseball player. Things aren't going very well for him, but he just so happens to have a perfect race-walking stride. And the two pair up, and it becomes this really great buddy sports comedy, and tracks them trying to qualify for the Olympic Games, and tracks their friendship blossoming. It's full of laughs. It's really fun. And I'm really excited to have it as part of the program. We should have we'll have a little message from the filmmakers on the day as well, so we can hear from them too.
Oh, that's so good. That's nice to actually get that sort of thing, because that means a lot more to the audience hearing from the actual directors. That's great. Thank you.
And B, you also have a number of short films that during the festival, isn't it? So when you get these short films, what kind of times are they ranging?
So our shorts range from about 5 minutes to, I think the longest we have is 11 minutes.
Oh.
The TFF actually has a really long history of playing short films. It's always a really wonderful and important thing to be able to bolster fresh Australian voices. Short films used to be so much more of a bigger thing just across cinemas. And it's a shame that they're not quite as prominent as they used to be. So I think the TFF is a really perfect opportunity to be able to share some of these great Australian films. Back in 1974, when the festival went on its first run to Orange and Wagga, I might add, one of the short films was by the then unknown Australian director Gillian Armstrong, who's now one of Australia's most renowned filmmakers, making films like Oscar and Lucinda and My Brilliant Career. So it's a really exciting thing. You might be able to see Australia's next big thing.
Wow. Makes sense. It really makes sense.
But Tamworth, we've got some really great films, one of which has a bit of a local connection to Tamworth as well. So we've got a short documentary called Bringing His Spirit Home. This is directed by a Dubbo man, Dylan Nichols. And the story is about Peter, who travels from Gomeroi country to France to visit the grave of his great uncle, who was Lieutenant William Allen Irwin, DCM. And he fought in the Somme in the First World War. And so Peter goes back to the Somme to visit the grave and then to bring his spirit back home to Gomeroi country. And it's a really beautiful documentary. It's a really special sort of moment. And there's something really beautiful and special about the screening in Tamworth, not only that some of the films were shot in Walhallow, which is just outside of Tamworth, but also that the film is screening on the 31st of August, which was also the day that Lieutenant Allen was fatally shot in Somme. So there's something sort of wonderful and cyclical about this story that we're bringing back to Gomeroi country for the first time. So it's going to be a really wonderful moment.
That's so special. Thank you. You've put a lot of detail into something that will mean so much to his family, who I know some of them have already bought tickets to the actual screening because they are so excited to see it on the big screen. So thank you. That's a lovely thing to do.
Yeah, it should be really, really nice.
And B, do you have any? What's your favourite for the weekend? What's your pick? If you had to pick one now, that is for those that maybe aren't going to all 3 days or are just picking certain passes, which is the one you think that you've got to go and see?
Oh, look, that's a tough question. I love them all, of course. But I think if there was one in particular that I think is a must-see for the year, it would be the Palme d'Or winner, It Was Just an Accident. So this won the Palme d'Or in Cannes Film Festival in May. It then won the Sydney Film Prize, which is the big official competition prize at the Sydney Film Festival in June. And its next stop is with us on the Travelling Film Festival. So it's really special and a very early look at what's a really remarkable film. This is by Jafar Panahi, who joined us for the festival in June, which was a really amazing thing because he's quite elusive, you could say. He spends most of his life in Tehran and doesn't often do sort of public appearances. And so we had access to him in June, which was really amazing to present a full retrospective of his films, including his new one. It Was Just an Accident it's sort of his take on a road trip thriller, and it follows a family as an unfortunate bump in the road leaves them to quite an isolated mechanic. And then this sparks this really sort of universal conversation about, given the choice between retribution or forgiveness, which do you choose? I think that this will have a lot of success, this film. It's really it's really fantastic, and there could be some Oscars buzz in the new year. So I think it's a really great one to catch while it's here in Tamworth and Wagga.
So can you tell us what's some other movies that are playing? Because you have just been to Orange, as we mentioned before, and now we've got Tamworth and Wagga. So what's coming up for those two sites?
Well, playing in Tamworth, this is the film that will be accompanying the short film Bringing His Spirit Home, is a new Australian documentary called Floodland. This is one of my favourite Australian debuts that I've seen in quite a while. It tackles some pretty tough content. It revolves around the 2022 floods in Lismore, but it does so really tenderly. It's really beautifully crafted, and it's a real people-first documentary. And it follows a few people as they recover from these 2022 floods, and really talks a lot about how you future-proof places like Lismore that are built on floodplains, and has some really interesting things to say about first settlement and about the Bundjalung people, and about sort of recommendations that were ignored back in those early days about where and where not to build. So it's a really fascinating documentary, and it's also just really beautiful to see the heart and the spirit of Lismore, because it's a town that's been through so much, and the Northern Rivers in general has been through so much,
and still going through a lot
and still
as
going
well.
through it.
Yeah.
Exactly. So it's really wonderful to see those sort of Australian stories up on the big screen.
Yeah, I think that's a nice thing to do as well.
Yeah. Otherwise, we've got a little bit further away from home, we have a debut film from Iraq, which is a rare thing. You don't often get a film from Iraq. So we have this really special film called The President's Cake. And this is a debut film. It follows 9-year-old Lamia as she tries to gather the ingredients for a birthday cake that she must make for President Saddam Hussein.
Wow.
And so it's a bit of an odyssey of her sort of making her way through 1990s Iraq, trying to, gather eggs and flour and milk. And the thing that really struck me about this is that it showed me an Iraq that I had never seen. A lot of the film is shot in the Mesopotamian marshes or the Iraqi marshes. And you learn a lot about Madan culture, which is the people that live in these Mesopotamian marshes and live in these sort of intricately woven reed houses and travel by canoe. It's really spectacularly shot. It's a really beautiful film to sort of behold and a new world to see. And it features one of the screen's great roosters, I gotta say. There's a really fabulous chicken in this movie.
Oh, an actual chicken, right? Okay.
Lee, where were you going?
Yeah, I was thinking, okay, this sounds interesting.
Channing's not in this one, mate. Okay, so there's no shirt taking off. And the thing is, we every week on the podcast we talk about some huge Hollywood blockbusters, right? All those big kinds of movies. But what I love about this traveling film festival is, and some of the storylines that you've brought us today, it blows my mind. Like, there's just some things that you just wouldn't think would be in movies, and I think that's what makes it so appealing. It's just, it's a point of difference, which is great.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's wonderful to immerse yourself in that festival environment and take in as much as you can. Because that's also where you get to have conversations that you would never have. It sort of sparks these really vital conversations about, gosh, this world that I didn't know existed, or this story that I'd never experienced before, or this culture I'd never experienced before. It really sort of gets you thinking and gets you chatting. And that's, to me, the magic of movies, when you really get to talk. I mean, you guys know you talk about movies every week, and there's a lot to talk about. And so it's wonderful to be able to chat about movies and filmmaking, but then also experience a totally new country or a totally new world. Yeah.
Which it is. It's a great thing because, a lot of us may not ever get the opportunity to travel to these countries. And so to see it on the big screen, you are seeing something very special.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity for some cinema seat travel.
Yeah. I just want to see that girl make that cake. That sounds awesome. I wonder what Saddam thought of it. Okay. Now, I guess the big question is now, okay, we want to head along. We want to grab ourselves, whether it be 3-day passes or individual passes. How do we go about it? What's the best way to get your hands on some tickets?
So you can either jump online to sff.org.au/TFF. There you'll be able to get single tickets. You can also get a FlexiPass 5, which will give you 5 tickets to 5 different films over the festival. Or if you're feeling particularly brave, you can grab a subscription and save 30% on ticket prices. And that will give you 1 ticket to every single film over the weekend, which I highly recommend.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. I wouldn't feel right going along and just seeing 2 films. You know, I feel like I'm missing out because then I'd be like,
do the full 9.
The whole lot. Yes.
Yeah, you would. Just to be able to talk about it and even just after the movie, just hanging around, because we do, I know in past years, we've had a lot of people just hanging around and chat until the next movie starts. And they go, and I do know they all like their own little seats. They all keep their seats.
Creatures of habit.
Yes, correct. So that's a great thing to be able to see the all 9. And that's an easy way to go and get your 9 Flexi Pass, which is what you want.
Yep, absolutely. You can also grab them, of course, at the cinema as well.
Yes, from the box office or from our websites, forum6.com.au. So, yes.
Beautiful. But it's been great to catch up. Hopefully we can get you on again next year. Hopefully, we'd love to have you back on again. Yeah. No, look, it is fantastic. Mr. Lee and I are looking forward to heading along and checking out some films. I'm going the 9 movies, I think, Mr. Lee.
Oh, well, if you are, I'll have to do it as well.
Go on.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you watch B. He'll come and see 3, and then you'll leave me there for the rest, and he'll take off. He'll go to his office to do some work, which we both know that's not true. Okay, so make sure you get your hands on some tickets for the Travelling Film Festival. It's coming up August 29 to 31 at Tamworth and Wagga. The Forum 6 cinemas there. It's going to be awesome. B, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks so much for having me. It's been great.
You've done very well, B. Thank you. Thank you.
What an absolute legend. And of course, Mr. Lee, we are back on Wednesday this week.
Yes, another
we're
one.
Back together
yes.
again. I mean, geez. Like,
yeah, which we're talking about Nobody 2 with Zane. So that'll be fun to hear his thoughts. Zane's been to a few. He actually did go to the Joker 2 last year. So I think this is going to be a good one for him to watch because he does like action movies.
All right, Miss Lee. Well, I'll catch you on Wednesday at midday. Let's go have some lunch. Let's bring B along with us. What do you reckon?
Yeah, I think that's a good idea. You should probably take us out for lunch. That'd be nice.
You know what? She'll do a damn sight better job than you do.
Yes, I know. And I admit it. Yes.
We'll catch you up Wednesday. Bye.
Bye for now.
Want more Talking Flicks? Get your fix with every episode, anywhere, anytime. Just search Talkin' Flicks on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, forum6.com.au or odeon5.com.au. Until next time, we'll see you at the movies.